Come on, you guys, let's go. Let's go. It's over. It's done. We've secured our place in this year's round of 16 in the Champions League. And I have to say, what an impressive performance. What an impressive win against a very resolute and strong, determined RB Salzburg team. I think their record at home is that they have gone unbeaten in the past 40 to 41 games. So to come in here, to get the results, to beat them, to break their records, you have to really put in a top performance. And I have to say, some of the attacking football we saw on show tonight was absolutely incredible. It really gets you excited for what's to come under Graham Potter. But on top of that, you guys, we saw some outstanding performances today. You're looking at HAVERTZ Kovacic, who absolutely ran things in midfield. You're looking at Kai Havertz, who definitely came to life playing in his new role. Plus Chalobah, who continues to grow and grow and grow under Graham Potter. So tonight, I'm a very happy man. I hope you guys are very happy and excited as well too. In today's video, I want to discuss Graham Potter ball and what we saw tonight. I want to discuss Kai Havertz, Chalobah, Kepa, plus many more things as well. So I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys are impressed by the win. Hit that like button, you guys. Absolutely smash it tonight. And to start with the first thing we learned today, I want to discuss Graham Potter ball and what we saw tonight. Now, when we first saw that lineup, we saw Raheem Sterling, Christian Pulisic, and no traditional wing-backs playing. So I guess we all kind of assumed, okay, are we going to be seeing like a typical wing-back system today? I guess in that sense, this was kind of like a 3-5-2. But I really think it's time for us to really like reevaluate how we see formations now in football, because formations are very game dependent and very situational. For example, when it comes to the build-up phase, a lot of times we do kind of like revert to a back four. When it comes to attacking as well, we were seeing like a 3-3-4. When it comes to defending off the ball, of course, the wing backs come back. And in game, you're seeing like 3 to 4 different formations used at a time. And I think this is what Graham Potter has always been about. This is what he's been doing all the way back during his early coaching days in Sweden. What he did with Brighton as well too. And to play this type of way, it requires a lot of understanding from the players on the field. So it is going to take time. We saw some great football today. This might not be like the bare minimum and standard we see week in, week out. But for me, this is like a reminder of what is to come, of what Potter is trying to build here. A reminder to us fans to be patient and keep an open mind and look to see how we develop and continue to grow. Because for me, we created some outstanding opportunities. We played some great football, especially in that first half. Once we got the first goal from HAVERTZ Kovacic, who, I think his record is like 5 goals scored for us in nearly 200 games. And the goals he has scored for us are absolutely out of this world. And for me, I've always been personally frustrated by the fact that he hasn't developed that side of his game over the years, because he has this in his locker. Imagine the threat he could offer if he was constantly taking shots outside the box as well too. Hopefully someday he learns to do this. But wow, what an incredible improvised finish with his left foot. Great thinking, great awareness, completely took the keeper by surprise. And by going 1-0 up, it allows us to like really dictate how we want to play. And we were constantly playing through RB Salzburg. I mean, some of the one-touch football. How often have you been seeing one-touch, two-touch football? The speed, the fluidity, and most importantly, the flexibility of the players on the field. Because you need to have players that are very comfortable playing in different roles and positions. Throughout this game, I was seeing Raheem Sterling, Christian Pulisic swapping positions down either wing. And in that sense, both these players didn't... I mean, they played as wing-backs, but I guess a wing-back role is a lot more fluid than we give it credit for. It's not like you're more like a more offensive fullback. It's very like dependent on what's happening in game. And because Salzburg really sat back and defended and soaked up a lot of pressure, in that sense, you're kind of playing with 2 wingers. Pulisic and Sterling are regularly in very advanced positions further up the field. You were seeing Raheem Sterling having that license to roam centrally as well too. Kai Havertz having the freedom, of course, to play up front alongside Aubameyang, or even in behind him as well too, interchanging as well with Raheem Sterling. So a lot was going on, and I think it's time for us under Graham Potter to not see things through such like restricted lenses and to accept the super fluidity that Potter wants to see in his teams. I like this football. I think there's more to come from that. I'm already imagining what Nkunku could do in a system like this for next season, especially when the guys have more understanding of how to play alongside each other as well as in the system and the requirements as well too. Because here's the thing I keep stressing all the time. Under Thomas Tuchel, for me, everything was more like automatism based, where it's like, okay, do this here, do that there. There are a lot of rules. The football is very scripted, but under Potter, he'll put you in those positions, but it's up to the players on the field to take responsibility, to bury those chances, to understand how to break the opponents down. You know, at least we have more box presence, which is the most important thing in my opinion. When you have more box presence, you can create better opportunities, no more isolation up front anymore. And for me, this was a great advertisement for why we need to be patient, and a great reminder as to what is to come in the future as well too. So for me, the football was outstanding. We could have easily got 4 or 5 goals today. But again, in the end, it took 2 spectacular efforts from Kovacic and Kai Havertz. So I guess to move on now to the next thing we learned, is Kai Havertz really back now? Now, I found Havertz very impressive today. And in that first half in particular, he easily could have got a goal and an assist if things went in his favour. I thought the positions he was taking up, now that Kai has been restricted to playing as this target man, and I always say target man because people used to say he was playing false 9. That was not the case. If you're playing as a false 9, it implies you're dropping deeper back into those midfield lines. He was always up front as a target man alongside centre-backs, having to back into them, and of course anticipating long balls and aerial balls. Tonight, when you give Havertz that freedom, that free role where he can move further forwards, you know, he can pick his moments. The guy is good enough to understand what to do, when and where. Just give him that license. Allow him to withdraw from play a little bit, and you see what Kai Havertz can really bring and really do. I thought in terms of his creativity today, very good. Aubameyang tonight, I'm going to let him off. He was dangerous, but tonight his finishing boots definitely weren't there. I think on 2 occasions, Kai Havertz set him up with some nice passes, and even on 1 occasion in particular, he played this like beautiful reverse ball back. And this is where the players need to get a bit better with their relationships, understandings of each other's game, because that was the type of pass where there should be someone there every single time getting on the end of that to take a shot. But I thought Havertz today was so dangerous. And wow, what a goal he scored. Now, we kind of saw a goal scored by him earlier, of course, for the national team, Germany versus England, where he scored a ridiculous goal versus England. It was the same type of goal today. The first touch was perfect. Great play from Pulisic to maintain possession from the ball and set Havertz up. His first touch, of course, allowed him to set up the second touch to be taken with a shot. And wow, what a strike. This is what Havertz can do. This is what I've seen Havertz doing for the national team and back in Germany as well too. But for him to do that, you need to give him that license and that freedom where he can withdraw from play. Let him pick up those positions, because this guy knows how to find the books. And I really feel like with some momentum now, which is the only thing he really needs, some momentum of regularly playing good attacking football, he can definitely come back, and there's a lot more life to Kai Havertz. I think under Graham Potter and what he expects from the team in terms of that fluidity offensively, Havertz really complements that. And wow, what an impressive performance from him today, where easily, if it wasn't for Mateo Kovacic, I'd probably say Havertz was the man of the match. But wow, what an outstanding goal. And honestly, Havertz is a weird one. But the reason why is because I felt like he hasn't been used in a position to bring out real attacking consistency from him. And he has kind of been used against his best strengths. So how do you find Kai Havertz, you guys? Share your thoughts and opinions. Moving on, I think for me, it's time to discuss one of the most informed players of the new season. And without a doubt, that is Chalobah. I mean, wow, has this guy stepped up even more? I saw a lot of his promise from last season. I had a lot of belief in this guy. Of course, I think his main criticism last season was the fact that when he started games, maybe he started a bit slow, but he ended games in spectacular fashion. And I think now that he has more confidence in his game, more belief in him from Graham Potter, as well as Todd Boehly, who was one of the main reasons why Chalobah didn't leave on loan. You know, now he's really shown what he's about. And in that sense, he's one of the most Graham Potter players in the team, based on the fact that he can kind of play all across that, those defensive lines. I mean, for example, there's times in the Graham Potter where he has to kind of get forward, support the play, and act as like a right back, which he can do because under Tuchel last season, he was playing on the right-hand side of a back three. And we know that Tuchel likes his wide centre-backs to be comfortable getting forward to midfield to support the attacks. And Chalobah can do that. There's times where, when we've moved to a back four, He has to move closer to Thiago Silva to make that back two. And of course, he can then very comfortably move to playing in a back 3-2. You know, to have that type of intelligence, wow, I think it's very impressive, and it really complements what Potter is trying to do. And, you know, just seeing all the positivity he brings. There was that one move in the first half, yeah, which literally came from Chalobah's technique and his ability, of course, to kickstart attacks. I mean, he played this like really great pass to the outside of his foot. Nice little reverse pass to play through the lines of RB Salzburg. It was a nice flowing counter-attack, which led to Aubameyang being set by Kai Havertz, who, of course, just didn't find his finishing boots to bury it around the keeper. If he had scored that, that's one of the team moves of the season currently, and that came from Chalobah. But on top of that, not only is he kick-starting attacks, I mean, this guy defensively is such a colossus. I mean, how many incredible defensive headers was he making? Heading that ball away from the danger zone time and time again. He's looking quite complete. I mean, he's built, he's strong, he's intelligent, and he's very good on the board as well. Easily one of the most impressive defenders of this season. And wow, I think he deserves all the praise and all the respect and all the hype at this point in time. So long may that continue. So now to end things, the final thing I learned is Kepa starting to go back to his old ways. I mean, this guy has been one of our most impressive players of the month. Maybe I shouldn't take things too personal, maybe give him that benefit of the doubt. But it did feel like I was seeing a lot of the old things that, you know, it was the reason why Kepa was not our first choice goalkeeper. I think his presence from aerial situations was non-existent throughout the entire game. I think there was one moment near the end of the second half where he kind of milked being hit by Pavlovic. Of course, Thiago Silva, ever present. He knew Kepa wasn't going to get there. He was too slow off his lines, and of course he looked to cover the keeper in behind him with a great defensive block. But I was just thinking, wow, some of the indecision, some of the mistakes, you know, some of the weakness aerially. He could only punch balls, and a lot of times when he was punching balls away, there was no proper conviction or power. And I'm sorry, Mendy has been inconsistent. He has been, but Kepa is not better than him. Mendy will find that form back. We've forgotten it because, of course, this patch has gone on for a little bit too long now. But he will find that form back, and we can't forget what we get from him. We know with Mendy defending aerial set pieces, he commands every single ball in his box. No one can outmuscle him, and he catches things, he claims things, and he brings that calmness, and then throws it to create a counter-attack. Kepa just can't do that. And of course, this myth about Kepa's his distribution with his feet. I think maybe under Maurizio Sarri, because he was only required to play like first-time ground passes, it gave this impression that this guy was like a ball-playing goalkeeper. He isn't. You know, I still feel like his kicking has never really brought too many benefits. And I'd say that Mendy is better, irrespective of those really poor, silly mistakes like the ones versus Real Madrid, for example. You know, that isn't really a big determiner of him lacking that ability to play with his feet. Not at all. But, you know, with Kepa kind of, you know, showing the limits of his powers, am I being a bit too much? I'm not too sure. But it was just like throughout the entirety of those 90 minutes, you know, that confidence was not there, and it felt like RB Salzburg was starting to target him even more. And once that happens, you guys, you know what tends to happen with Kepa and goals. So maybe I'm being too harsh. I can put my hands up, share your thoughts and opinions. But to end things, you guys, for me, this was a very impressive win. Very resolute. I thought everything tactically was spot on from Graham Potter. Even the way we ended the game by switching to like a back four, soaking up some pressure and playing on the counter-attack. But wow, you know, once these players can build those connections on the field, which is the key thing here, to understand each other's game even more, once that can happen, we're going to see some special things, because I think Potter has, you know, he's starting to build those foundations to allow that type of football to happen now. And if this is a glimpse of what is to come in the future, then you guys, I'm fully here for it. So on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. I'm going to keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Share your thoughts and opinions. I'm in the FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Catch you guys later with some more videos.